Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Easy Learn. And today's topic is algebra, within which we're going to be doing quadratic equations, and it's practice time today. As explained before, quadratic equations can be solved using three methods, that is, zero factor property, completing the square, and the quadratic formula. I've discussed all these methods in my previous videos. You can check out the link in the description below and go understand the concept and then come back for solving. So today's question is, Victor is Y years old. His brother Fred is 4 years older than Victor. The product of their ages is 780. And the main question says, set up an equation to represent this information and solve to find Victor's age. Now, these are some information, some specific information given to us, and we have to try and work it out, try and form our equations, and then probably end up in a quadratic equation since we are solving quadratics, and then we will be solving it. So, Victor is Y years old, so let me just represent Victor as V. So, Victor is Y years old, and then his brother Fred, so F, let's say Fred, is 4 years older than Victor. So which means, let's say if Victor was, let's say, 6 years old, then Fred would be 6 plus 4, right? Because he's 4 years older. If Victor is 6, Fred would be 10, which means that 4 is being added to Victor's age. So if Victor's age is Y, then Fred's age would be Y plus 4, right? And then the product of their ages is 780, which means that if Victor was, let's suppose, 6 years old and Fred is 4 years older, which means 10 years old. So if I were supposed to find the product of their age, it would be 10 times 6, which is 60, right? So this basically means that if I product, again, just to FYI, product means multiplication, right? Product means if both the numbers are multiplied. Sum means addition, difference means subtraction, product means multiplication, and quotient means division, right? Okay, so product of their ages. So if I multiply Victor's age and Fred's age, I am supposed to get 780. This is the information that they're giving. Now, if I want to set up this equation, I want to set up these little pieces of information in one single equation, I'm going to be writing y multiplied with y plus 4. Now, I can't just take, okay, y multiplied by y and a plus 4 just outside of that. No, it cannot happen because y is one single term and y plus 4 is the second term. Completely, the y plus 4 entirely is the second term, right? So y times, I've not put anything in between. It just understood that there's a multiplication sign here, right? So we just put it in as a bracket. So y times y plus 4 is equal to 780. Now the first step is complete, set up an equation. The equation is set up. Now it says solve to find Victor's age. Now when it says solve, it means we're supposed to find out the value of y. And in order to find out the value of y, you just cannot simply, just take y to the other side and somehow figure out. You have to solve using, first of all, you multiply this y with everything that is inside and then form a specific equation and then probably work out the values of y. Now, first thing, y times y times y, there are two y, so y times y gives you a y squared. Then y times a 4 gives you 4y. There's a plus sign here, so I'm just going to straight away put the plus sign. So y times y squared, y times 4, 4y equals 780. Now, the moment you see a square there, that is a y square, the moment you see a square, you need to understand that this is supposed to be a quadratic equation. But I cannot leave the quadratic equation just like that, y squared plus 4y equals 780. You won't be able to work out if you just leave it like that. You have to turn this quadratic equation into a format that looks like this: ax squared plus bx plus c, which means that I need to rearrange my entire equation so that it looks like this: ax squared plus bx plus c, which means I already have, let's say, the ax squared part and the bx part, but I don't have the c part. There's an equal sign in between. So I need to take this 780 to the other side. Now 780 here is positive. When it goes to the other side, turns into negative, and y squared plus 4y negative 780 is my final equation. And that pretty much looks like this: ax squared plus bx plus c, right? Y squared plus 4y minus 780. Doesn't matter if it's an x squared in the general formula and you have a y squared, it's not important what letter you have, it's just that the format should look the same, right? Now, once I have this specific quadratic equation, now it's completely your choice which method of solving the quadratic equation do you choose. Do you choose zero factor property? Do you choose the completing the square, or you use the quadratic formula? Most of the times whenever they allow you calculators, you just jump on to quadratic formula because that's way easier to solve. It's just you put in the values in the calculator, you don't have to do anything manually, and when you don't have to do things manually, there's less chance of error. So now, if on this particular equation, if I apply the quadratic formula, that looks something like this: x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now, once I have that information, I gotta figure out what's my a, b, and c. So my a here, there's nothing, so which means there's an invisible one, because ax squared y squared, so it's 1. A is equal to 1. Now for bx, what's corresponding to bx? 4y is corresponding to bx, which means that the b is supposed to be 4. And then my c is the number that is standing alone, which is negative 780. So a is 1, b is 4, c is negative 80. Now, applying the quadratic formula on this, so y is going to be equal to minus b, so my b is 4, so minus 4 plus or minus square root of b squared, that is 4 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, that is negative 780. And then I'm going to do divided by 2a. So 2 times a means 2 times 1 here, and I simply get this particular formula and with all the numbers involved. Now inside I can just do 4 times 4, 4 squared, which is a 16. Outside I have a negative 4 plus or minus. On the bottom you're supposed to have 2 because 2 times 1 is 2. And here I have a square root of 4 squared, which is 16. And then I have a negative 4 times times a 1 times a negative 70. So 4 times 1 is just 4, and 4 times 780 is 3120. Now there's a negative 4 with a negative 780, so negative and negative turns positive. So 4 squared gives me 16. 16 plus 3120, and 3120 plus 16 gives me 3136. Now I'm just solving it manually just so that you know how I'm going about, but you can just simply put in the values and straight away get your answer. So minus 4 plus or minus 3136 over 2. Now you will find the square root of 3136, which is a 56. So coming back, I'm going to solve here. Now here's the part where your positive and negative comes into action. This positive and negative basically means that you have to you will have one answer in a positive and one answer probably is going to be negative, right? So that's the reason there are two signs, plus and minus. Whenever you're solving square roots, there you always get a positive answer and a negative answer. That's the rule of square roots. Whenever you are solving a square root, there should be a positive answer and a negative answer. So square root of 3136 gives me 56, so I'm going to write negative 4 plus 56 over 2, and the other one is going to be negative 4 negative 56, because as I said there's a plus and a minus, so once I took plus, the other one I'm going to take minus 56 over 2. And now I have 56, negative 4 plus 56, which gives me a 52. That over 2 is going to give me a 26. And then I have a negative 56 and a negative 4, which means I'm going to have a negative 60. And negative 60 over 2 is supposed to give me negative 30. So the two values of y are 26 and negative 30. Now, what is the question asking? Solve to find Victor's age. What was Victor's age? Victor's age was y, right? V is equal to y here. So what is Victor's age? Now, if you look back here, obviously Victor's age cannot be negative 30. You can't take somebody's age as a negative answer. That means I just gotta get rid of this negative 30, and my final answer, that is Victor's age, is gonna be 26. And if I tell you find out Fred's age, so you're just going to do y plus 4, that is 26, plus 4, and 26 plus 4 just gives you 30. So Fred's age is going to be 30. Victor's age, as you found, is 26. That is how you go about the question. You have to understand the information, you have to form the equations. Once you have the equations, solve them, and then try and get your quadratic format, that is ax squared plus bx plus c. Once you have that, apply your quadratic formula, simply get your answer, and you will always choose the positive answer in cases like these where they're asking for areas, perimeters, or ages, or whatever. You need to use the positive answer, not the negative answer. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching Easy Learn. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. If you have any questions, any confusions, drop them down in the comment section below. See you next time.